Hello, friends. So today I'm here and I'm going to present the chart of the president. I'm here and I'm going to present chart of the president of Ukraine, who's now in a soup, who's now in a lot of his country is in a lot of trouble. And let's look at how things look like for him in the coming days. And let's look also at his personality. Uh, okay. Mm. Okay, so let me share the chart of Mr. Zelensky, uh, who's the president of Ukraine. So, 25 Jan 1978, 2 p.m. This is the timing given by the founder of Astrology, which is a very reputed astrology company. So, I'm going with that time as of now. And it shows this chart shows some of the characteristics of Mr. Zelensky, definitely. We see the personality from the ascendant, Taurus ascendant, quite stubborn, and also Venus is the ruler of the ascendant. It is with the sun, which brings the ego, which also aspected by Mars. So what happens is that this person can be very impulsive because the ascendant lord is aspected by Mars, by Rahu. So Rahu is looking at Venus, Mars is looking at Venus, uh, Moon is also looking at Venus. So it's somebody who can be quite impulsive, actually. And that is not a good thing for a leader. But he can be very impulsive. We can see that Moon is in the third house, well placed. So we know that third house is the house of expression, and he became an actor. He became a comedian. He became a dancer. Also, he might have been in sports of some sort. But Mars is debilitated in the sign of Cancer. So this aggression, this impulsiveness uh, is ideally something that he should avoid. Also, Sun is aspecting Mars. Sun is in the ninth house of the foreign land. So he is really depending or relying rather mentally, at least he's hoping that his partners, from EU or his friends like the US or UK support him. He's hoping for that. And based on that hope, he's done something very impulsive. He's decided to be stubborn about his stand and things like that. But now where we have to see whether he is really in a good period to do that, because Indian astrology is it's very strong when it comes to decoding these things. So don't take it lightly. So if we have the correct birth time, which I think we have for the reasons mentioned earlier, we can see that he is now in a Moon Saturn dasha. So the Saturn period, Saturn is the slow moving planet. Saturn is in his fourth house, looking at the 10th house of power. So it's not good. Saturn's Drishti, for his power, it's not good. For his leadership, it's not good. So probably in the position of power, this kind of person can mess up a little bit, can make a little bit of wrong decisions, and which can be quite costly. And I feel he should be more thoughtful. I feel someone like this, I don't know, maybe he's acting based on some external forces or something like that. As I said, Sun in the ninth house, the governments of foreign countries definitely have a say. 12th house Mars, again, there's an external support which he's anticipating, because of which he has made this very impulsive decision, which is indicated by Mars. And in a Saturn period, well, it looks kind of tricky. Saturn is aspecting his sixth house, Saturn is aspecting his 10th house and first house. 10th house is power, first house is the self. So I think at some point he will be pushed towards making negotiations and things like that. He will have to put down his ego, put down his stubbornness, and try to come at an amicable solution, because that will help him and that will help his nation also. So it's very important for him to understand things clearly. And if he gets the support of Europe and US, then okay, then, things will be good. But if not, then he'll have a lot of troubles going on for him in his life. And it can be quite dangerous for him. So he has to be very careful. I would recommend for someone like this to really be careful and tread with caution. I don't know if he's taking the advice of some really good astrologers. I would suggest that he does so. And yeah, we can see that Jupiter is aspecting his eighth house. So can help him a bit, the correct advice can help him a bit. So advice is very important. Proper advice is very important. And I feel that someone like this should also, there's also, you can see the Rahu's Drishti on the ascendant and things like that. So Ketu is aspecting Mars, which is the planet of war, which again weakens Ketu, where Mars is already retrograde. Mars is debilitated in his chart. So ideally, he shouldn't be thinking too much of prolonging this war, but get onto the negotiation table, talk about things. Definitely, he can find a solution with Russia. That's what I would say. And this jingoism and heroism, it doesn't seem to be what can help him unless he gets support from Europe and US, and which is what he's banking upon. He wants to be a member of the EU and things like that. He's banking on that. He's hoping for that. And if his hopes come true, it is a good thing. But with Saturn aspecting the 10th house, it looks a little tricky to me. I don't think these kind of things can really happen. Saturn is also aspecting the ninth house, so his relations with the foreign countries tricky. Ketu is also transiting seventh house, which is the house for dealings and neighbors. Again, Ketu aspecting there makes things tricky. And Jupiter, as long as it's in 10th house, it will help him a little bit. It's helping his image. People see him as a hero and things like that. But in the month of April, when Jupiter transits to the 11th house, I think things can get a little tricky for him. And because then the Saturn impact is directly going to be in the 10th house. So, but at that time, maybe he will also get the sense to negotiate and not go for the violence, and find some ways around it, but that may be a little too late, we don't know. So anyway, I tried to share a little bit about what I could see in his chart. Personally, I'm not seeing it as uh, something favorable for him. It is kind of tricky from what I can see. And I hope that the hope that he has, the trust that he has, uh, that someone will come and bail him out of this, someone will come and help him. I hope things fall in place and less people suffer. We hope that less people get displaced. We hope that less people suffer. That is what we pray. And we'll end this with a short prayer of peace nonetheless, so that good sense may prevail on all sides. Uh, and there's a beautiful Indian prayer, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means peace to all the sentient beings, to all humans, animals, birds, plants. So let's chant Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमया ओ शांति शांति शांति. Thank you everyone for joining and watching this. Cheers.